I'm Muzz and this is my story. A few different takes. My name's Maraea Tenali and I broke my neck. That just doesn't sound right, that just sounds so stupid. I didn't really care about myself or anyone else, to be honest, at the time that this happened. It was summer, it was hot, it was a pool party. I was drunk and it didn't feel right being in the pool, but you know, I'm young, I'm stupid, like this is cool, this is a new experience, I've never been to a pool party before. That's kind of when I didn't even think and made a really bad decision and I dove headfirst into the shallow end of the pool. That's when all hell broke loose and my life's never been the same since. I hit the water so hard that my hands were thrown back. And I hit the bottom of the pool. I just knew straight away, I've got to, feel it. It was quite probably the most terrifying thing I've ever felt in my life. So yeah, I hit the bottom and I hit the back of my head. I don't know how. I went to, do the breaststroke and move my arms and they both just drifted past my head. And at that point, I was like, shit. I knew that I'd broken my neck.
Just looked really, really bad. So I went straight into the pool and I just put my hands under her and I kind of put myself on top of her and I pushed her to the side of the pool.
Maraea was just there, still as, breathing, machines all around her, beeping.
It was sad and it was stressful and overwhelming. It didn't look right.
It was very, very sad.
It probably sank in actually the first day she transferred to Burwood. When she was taken through, I was waiting at reception and that's when I actually broke down and couldn't stop crying.
That was probably one of the darkest days I had in hospital, and that is because they had to take me off strong pain relief. I could feel that I was paralysed. I could feel that, my neck was in agony. I was angry at myself, I was angry at the world.
Maraea had quite a few bad days. I think with her age, she struggled with it. Days where, I couldn't be in the room because it was upsetting for me and I was sometimes upsetting her unknowingly and probably vice versa.
I've always been self-conscious. The fact that I had to basically lay there naked and let people clean in areas that nobody else should have to clean for you at this age.
We just wanted Maraea to be Maraea. We knew her hair was important to her, so we'd do her hair, brush her teeth. I just wanted her to look like her authentic self. I didn't want her to be Maraea in the hospital bed.
The people that surrounded Maraea when she was in there too, wasn't it?
Yeah, just being positive and...
Yeah, and, taking gifts.
Cookie time, because she liked them, and they were hard to get. I had to travel 10 k's to one shop to get some one day.
Basically, that first week of laying there and thinking about it, this is do or die. You either do this and you get through it and you persevere and you put your determination into it, or you give up.
They give you the worst scenario, of course, is, well, she's going to be tetraplegic, she's never going to walk again probably. But I always sort of think, well, until you actually get to that point, you just wait and see. My left side of the body was moving, but my right side was still a bit paralysed. But I just did a lot of physio, and it was with Brendan every day.
When Maraea came in, her strength in her legs was quite limited. We can have a guess that there'll be an ability to walk, but how that walking will look is really hard to know.
So I started sitting up. That was like a breath of fresh air. I had a couple of friends that I surprised.
I remember I went away for a weekend, so I didn't see her for like 3 days, and then the next time I saw her, she stood up to give me a hug when I went to say goodbye, and I was just like, whoa, sit down, and like, what are you doing?
Get one under your sleeve.
I could finally show my friends that I was fighting. I think once they got me in the gutter frame that day, probably one of the most precious, I think. Here we go again. But it's, yeah, it was hard. I was trying to watch my feet, and Brendan kept saying, look up, you've got to look up, try and look straight, keep your back straight, keep your shoulders back, try and stay straight up, hold on to the grip.
It progresses to walking a little bit further with less people to assist, and then using less aids, so from the gutter frame to using a smaller frame, to using crutches, to using a crutch, to using a stick.
You don't remember the first time you start walking. I remember the second time I learned how to walk again.
She's probably grown up quite a bit and has realised how the actions of something can change your life in a split second.
It was like I could finally start to see like a glimmer of the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I knew I had a long way to go.
She's got a bright future. She's been cleared to study, which I think is going to be really good for her, finally getting her future on track.
So I start my 6-month course in a few weeks' time to basically get me into vet nursing next year at Ara. I'm just looking forward to basically getting the chance to start my life now. I'm not gonna cry, it's fine. It's just, man, I just think, you know, when you see someone dive into a pool, you don't think that that's what's gonna happen, but I mean, look how shallow that is. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. I'm really lucky that I had the right amount of, like, you know, people that knew what to do, and, man. Honestly, guys, thank you so much. I probably wouldn't have made it through without a lot of your support. It was really hard, but I appreciate everyone that took care of my family and my mum, and I appreciate my friends for visiting, even though I know it was hard. But you got me through it, and I'm really thankful for that. This is me, just standing here dramatically. Far out. It's really awkward.